Good morning. This is June 2025. We're going to talk to Diane Maurice and Janet Frankam about the history of the Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Nipigon. Its early years and its more recent years. So Diane, just talk about what you remember then from early years and where you would have gone to church.
In our early years, I went to church with my grandparents, and it was mainly a Finn service. And it was done in an Anglican church, the old Anglican church. And it was about twice a month. The minute Pastor Sipola would come, and one of them would come from Thunder Bay and have a finished service, and then they would have a very coffee social afterwards.
Right. Okay. So lots of people?
A fair number. Nipigon was a fair, good Finnish community at that time.
Right. Did you have Sunday school?
No, there was no such thing.
Service.
Just finished service that I can remember.
Okay, about what years? Oh, how old were you?
I must have been 7, 8, you know.
I'll quickly work out what year that would be.
Oh, geez.
52?
Yeah, around 52.
In the 50s.
In the 50s.
Oh, okay, in the 50s then.
Yeah.
So that would have been the first Lutheran church in those days.
Yes, and it wasn't called Emmanuel Lutheran then. It was just, I think, the Evangelical Lutheran Church.
Oh, it's called what?
Evangelical Lutheran Church.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that would have been, because there were so many Finn people, they wanted to have services in Finn.
In Finnish.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. And that continued way into, I want to say the 80s, late 80s.
Yeah.
We had Finn services.
Because
Okay.
we had a bilingual minister, so we had Finn services and English services then.
I think I even remember there being Finn services once in a while.
Yeah.
People talking about having
Yeah.
Finn services then. Right. And you just said you went because you had no choice.
My grandparents took care of me, and they went to church. So when you're 7 years old, you just go to church.
You go with them. That's right.
You didn't have a choice.
Right. So Janet, you got lots of records here though that go back way before that.
Back to 1937. This book was set up, I believe, by the ladies of the congregation from their coffee table. And this says tulot, which was income, and menot means expenses. So they would bring from their coffee tables all so much money, and then they had to pay for certain little things, but they were saving money towards a building.
Oh.
Yeah, at the time.
And that's 30s.
That's 37. And this
Wow.
book goes till, late into the 50s even. 1965, they were called the Sisterhood, the ladies group. And they would meet, I think, once a month. And they would also collect monies after every church service.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like our Bethany sisters later.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a long time, isn't it, to
Yes,
raise money?
to raise money, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know to this day if they bought that little red church where Linda Harbinson lives, or if they were renting it. I think they must have bought it.
I think they bought it.
Yeah,
Because it was used for so many things.
Yeah.
yes.
Because it was a school at one time as well as the church and then the Red Cross.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's been
And
many
I think
of
it was a
those
ski outfitter
behind
went-
it, right?
somewhere in
Was it?
behind there,
Yeah.
yeah.
So for those of us who are watching, that's the little tiny building just up from the Legion that Linda Harbinson lives in now, but was Red Cross and a school and obviously a church at one time.
Yeah.
And I think even the Baptists had church there as well before they got their one on the highway there. Okay, so you got any names back then, Jen?
Oh, lots of old names, yes. I have a list of old names.
Just some that people might recognize.
And this is the old one. But yes, there would be, oh gosh, I did have that. Not on the back. Yes. Mrs. Paul Jarvie, Sunny Hill, Mrs. Suomu, Hella Sumo, Ilona Ronkainen, which would be Helen Fold's mother and her mother's mother. It just says Mrs. Bronkainen Sr., Mrs. Millenora, Mrs. Niepola, which would be Diane's
My grandmother.
grandmother, and Mrs. Kainu, who lived on Bell Street. Mrs. Kainu was, just down from my mother.
Okay.
And Mrs. Lustila, they're the ones that had the, no, that's not, sorry, I was going to say.
But those are real Finn names.
Those are, yes.
When you're reading those out, you're
Yeah.
getting the real Finnish
That
names
was
there.
that was the old group, and then in the there would be Hamo Johnson and his wife. Oh, Sally Payunen's mother, Mary Payunen, lots of, and then later, in the 50s, we founded the Lutheran Church, and it was still called the Evangelical Lutheran Church then, and that was in May of 1952. That's when they became part of,
70
I
years
think,
ago.
part of Bethel Lutheran Church in Thunder Bay. They're the ones that
okay.
supplied us with ministers to come down.
Okay.
And Mrs. Solo West, which is Audrey Cormier's mother, was very involved. She was the very first secretary. And Pastor Sippola was the Finnish minister that came down, and he must have had at that time English services as well.
Okay.
And I didn't belong to the church till I would say I would be 8 years old, which would be just after Diane was going to church. They had a Sunday school at the Little Red Church.
Oh, okay.
And I was brought there by Sally Payunen, and I've been there ever since.
Yeah, I taught Sunday school in the Little Red Church
Did you?
later on
Oh.
years.
Did you?
Yeah.
So you were at that church quite a while then.
Yeah, we were there quite a while. We had the vicars and whatnot
Yep.
come then, and we were there for quite a while.
Yeah,
Because
Diane-
when I look at the history, I don't remember hearing that the Lutheran Church was there.
at the Little Red.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't.
okay.
I don't remember.
I was
hearing
confirmed
that.
in there in
Yes,
61.
Diane was confirmed in 1961. And that was with Vicar Davis. And the following year, we got our first resident pastor, which was Pastor Kaya. And I was his first confirmation class.
So where was your confirmation class?
in the Little Red Church.
Oh, at
Yeah,
the,
this is at the Little Red Church.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, interesting.
yeah, and this was our first resident pastor, Pastor Kaya.
Okay, Kaya.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yes, yeah,
for
he
sure.
was here for most of our ministers were here about 5-6 years, and then they moved on.
So I know in your history there you talk about the people who donated the land and the people who worked there
Yes.
too. So you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. Okay.
Where's that? Back there in my...
Okay, Mrs. Wick apparently bought 2 adjoining lots on 5th Street, which would have been roughly where Sylvia Enston's parents lived. So bought 2 lots there. Later, the lots behind our church came available, so she sold those 2, bought those, and donated it to our church to
okay.
build our church.
I knew that she was involved.
She was
somehow.
very involved. I originally thought she had won the land, but apparently she bought it. Maybe she won money and purchased the 2 lots. And then
Because I think the fellow who owned that property is where Andrew St. Jean lives now, and that was
yes,
a log. Underneath that siding is logs.
Yeah,
I
his
remember
name-
that.
Like I remember them because they were my grandmother's age, and
yes,
you know those old Finn people visited each other, so
Right.
I got to know all the old ones.
yeah.
Right,
That was
yeah.
Leo Valli.
Yes.
That was his place.
Yeah,
And he's the one that had all that property, and they bought that from him.
Because at one time they were going to build at the far end of that property.
Yes, and actually the plans called for an addition. This is the existing building. That was supposed to be built later. This was supposed to be the church. This was just supposed to be the hall,
Oh.
but we never got that far. So yes,
And I just know people often talked about all of the Finn people who helped build that church.
yes. We have Finnish carpenters, Toivo Holmi, Otto Huntus, and Paul Jarvi. And then finishing work was done by Chris Wick. He did the pulpits, the altar stand, and the cross.
Okay.
He was very, very talented finishing carpenter.
Right.
Yeah.
And I imagine there was other Finnish people who helped and
Well, it was
Oh.
built by the members.
By
Members,
the
yeah.
members, yes.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, and that would be what years, Janet? Was
That was,
built?
the church was built in 1962.
Well,
And
that's interesting because our church was 61. Your church was 62.
62.
Right.
And we moved in 63. We had our dedication in 1963.
And that was Pastor Kaya.
That was Pastor Kaya.
Okay.
And in that year also, we joined the Minnesota North District of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. So we were affiliated with the Church in the States.
Any reason for that?
Not that I know of, but there must have been a reason.
Just-
I know at one time there was I want to say a dissension between two Lutheran groups, and I don't know if that had something to do with it.
I always thought it
And,
was interesting that there's Lutheran in Thunder Bay and you didn't stay associated with
Well,
them.
we all
Ours
did.
did.
We all joined Lutheran Church
Oh, you
Missouri
did.
Synod.
Oh,
Yes.
I see.
There was a few churches that were not joined. They stayed with the Evangelical Lutheran Church.
Okay.
But most of the churches that we associate with, there's Christ Lutheran and Calvary Lutheran, Epiphany, they all joined the Missouri Synod.
Are there Lutheran churches down the North Shore?
We had, what would you call them, subsidiary congregations in Marathon and Manitowoc. And for 1 year, our pastor went to Geraldton for services.
Okay.
In fact, I think that's probably what burned out a lot of our ministers because they had to go and do services.
Same with the United Church. That's
Yes.
where you're going down the North Shore to
Yeah.
service. the
I can
people.
remember going with Pastor Tews Sunday morning early to church, or maybe it was late. No, evenings. We went evenings, and I would have my homework with me, and I'd be doing homework in the car going. Yeah. So, and I only went as far as Marathon. I never went as far as Manitowoc with the church.
Right. Right. So, in the 50s, or when your church opened, it's in the 60s, have you any idea of what your congregation numbers might have been?
In the Little Red Church, we had full pews. So I would say probably in that little church, probably 40 or so in there. But when we built the new church in 1962, I'm sure we could have between 50 and 60 people.
Okay.
But myself, my remembrance would be around in the 40s, and that would be in the 1980s. We would have
Okay.
about 40 to
Okay.
45 people.
So how many years did you play the organ there, Janet?
This year will be 62 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did anybody else play if you were away sick?
Yes, Beryl Tumala and I took
yes,
turns
Beryl.
regularly. When John and Elaine Nelson were here, she was an organist. When Pastor Klein was here, Rosemarie was an organist.
Right.
Sharon Schmidt was an organist.
Right.
Sharon was very accomplished. She went to piano school.
Okay.
And Elaine was very accomplished, and so was Rosemarie. I can remember Rosemarie playing as entertainment, playing music box dancer. She was excellent organist.
Okay. I remember
Yeah.
those names.
So there
for
was
sure.
a time when we had 4 organists, so you had to play one Sunday a month, which was
What
nice
a
for me.
change to now, eh?
Now it's
And
like
in the Finnish thing, it was Aini Ward that played.
Ivy Ward played, yes, and she
Oh.
played when I was pregnant. She played for a couple of months for me.
Like she played for a lot of the Finnish
Yes,
because Taipalusis, their parents were
Oh, yes,
one of the
right.
yeah.
older Finnish.
And Sally Painen played for Finn Services.
Yeah.
Apparently Riley Clark played, Hilka and Lisa Mayenpath.
Oh, my.
And last but not least was Veronica Mensch, our last resident pastor. She was an organist as well. And when Pastor Kaya was here, we had a choir directed by Anita Jarvala. And it was really nice. They actually sang at the dedication of the church building.
Okay.
So that was really nice.
Yeah,
We've had several choirs after, but smaller.
right.
Yeah.
Because I think once at Make a Joyful Noise, your choir sang.
Our choir sang,
Yes.
and we had a beautiful choir come from Lappi.
Oh,
They actually, when I traveled with them to Finland one year in the
Right.
choir,
I remember.
and we went to Finland, Estonia, and Russia, and it was a wonderful experience. But yeah, we had lots of visiting choirs.
amazing, when you read out those names of organists. But not everyone, but most girls took piano lessons
They did.
in those days.
Mhm.
That evolved into playing the organ.
And that's gone by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't hear of anybody like Midge Beale teaching
no, Mitch Peel was my teacher.
piano
Yeah.
lessons here now.
Yeah.
It's a shame. But it is encouraging to hear that the high school has got music now, though. It's not what we were thinking of, that piano and that, but they are teaching music over
Oh,
there.
nice.
And that's a real move forward for that,
Yeah.
for sure.
Pianos are very cumbersome too,
Yeah.
for people to purchase. A lot of times we had children come to the church to do their practicing,
Right.
and then they'd go and do their lessons. But yeah, they used the piano at the church.
Our church had 3 pianos an organ and 2 pianos.
Two pianos, yeah.
Well, when Janet came in this morning, I commented to her, just look here, 4 pianos just around where we're sitting.
Yeah.
4
Yeah.
pianos. And nobody wants pianos today.
Not anymore. No, if they want anything, they want the keyboards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we got one at our church. We like to get rid of it.
Yeah, I should say that we had a huge Sunday school
A
in the
huge
early
side.
in the early years, in the 60s and 70s. And Oscar Kaustinen and Chris Wick and Erhard Schmidt used to travel as far as Red Rock Corner to bring children into Sunday school.
Oh my!
Diane was a Sunday school teacher, myself, Sally, of course Judy, Sonia Cavalotti. We were all right out of confirmation. We were all recruited into teaching Sunday school, and
So was it a formal Sunday school? You had proper lessons that you followed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot I was going to bring my little booklet. I saved all my little booklets from when I went to Sunday school, and I used them a lot on our bulletin boards at church. But yeah, it was busy. Like I think I had a Sunday school class of about 12. So
Okay. We'll pause here. So Janet, maybe list off some of the pastors. You call them pastors.
Pastors.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
After Pastor Kaya left us, we had a young fellow come, Pastor Tews. And him and his wife came, and he also served in Marathon and Manitowoc. He was a baseball player. Some of our ministers played sports. After Pastor Tews, and Pastor Tews' wife played I forget what it's called now. It's gone. It was a great big instrument, wood instrument that she played. And after Pastor Tews, we had Reverend John Nelson and his wife Elaine come from the States. And he
they
was
had busy boys.
They had busy boys. They had 3 boys and a girl. They were into all kinds of things. He delivered newspapers while he was here. And I believe for a short time he worked in the mill for extra income. The basement was finished at that time with painting and carpeting. And the basement was used by nursery, youth groups, and other organizations. I think even Life Skills was down there for some time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So while John was here, we burned our mortgage in 1997. And we had a huge celebration that year, and Pastor Kaya came back for that. And shortly after, though, he passed away. They left in 1978, and Richard Klein came. He came as a single fella, but within a month he was married to Rosemary, so she came to live here, and they had 3 children born here.
Oh.
He was very active in the community. He served on the town council, the hospital
Right.
board.
Oh.
He was instrumental in setting up a sound system in the church so that if there was a large funeral, sound could be heard in the basement. It also had a sound system outside so that you could play chimes outside or Christmas music. And the parsonage was built at that time, so he moved into the new parsonage. And after he left, we had briefly Reverend Mark Moss and his wife Susan.
And his son.
He had
who I had in
two
school.
sons. Yes,
I had one of them in my classroom. Never forgot him.
Yes, yeah. I think they were not quite a year here because he wanted to serve as a missionary, and I believe he did go to Africa.
Oh, wow.
So then, in the meantime, we had vacancy pastors because sometimes we were a year or two without a pastor, and some of those were Reverend Florup from Thunder Bay, Eric Warrenen from Thunder Bay. He could also conduct Finn services, so he would do that when he was here. Then we had Reverend Natsky, and I think that was, and then Pastor Blum, who we have now.
Right.
He served once before,
Oh,
and
okay.
after 14 years, he was back as our vacancy.
Okay.
Then after Mark Moss, we had Vicar Les Honer, served his vicarage year here, and then was here for about 4 or 5 years. And he wanted to do missionary work, but up in the north. So he went to Sioux Lookout.
When he called that the North.
That was the north, like
Oh.
like he wanted to serve where
Right.
and then he flew to communities from
Oh,
there.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
to Cat Lake.
Right.
Then, just after, or while he was here, the Lutheran Church broke off with the Missouri Synod, and we belong to the Lutheran Church Canada now. And that was done in 1989. There was a huge meeting in Edmonton, which I went to, and it was a closing of the Missouri Synod and opening of the Lutheran Church Canada.
Okay.
And then we had another long vacancy with Pastor Jorma Tumisto from Bethel coming here, and he also did Finn services. And that's when Chris Bjornstad came then and sort of rejuvenated the church with young people.
Right.
And he had picnics in Red Rock, at campgrounds, Pauley Lake, everywhere, like even in Scriber, and he would go down the road and one of the things that he did in his carport was he built a sailboat, which he
I remember now.
initiated out at Pauley Lake when we had a Sunday school picnic at Donnie Rojo's camp. So everybody was invited to go for a little drive in it. So that was kind of neat. And after Chris left, we were a couple of years, maybe even 3 years without a minister. And we had Carl Sauer, Pastor Carl Sauer, and Reverend Maunala again doing services for us and doing our confirmation. And our last minister came in 2003, Pastor Richard Mensch, and his wife Veronica. She was also one of our organists. And she actually took my job when I retired at the hospital.
Oh, okay.
So she worked there, and then they moved to Prince Albert. And since then, we've been served by vacancy pastors, Pastor Repo for 2 years, and then Pastor Keith Blum since, I would say, 2010. So he's been 15 years coming to us.
Wow.
And they come twice a month regularly. Sadly, in 2023, we decided to sell the church and the manse due to dwindling numbers, and it was becoming hard to maintain 2 buildings at that time. And fortunately, the Baptist Church was looking for a place to go, so they bought the church, and so we were left without a church, and graciously, the United Church offered their building to us for services, and we're still there to this day.
And of course, as I talk to Janet now, our church is got very, very few people coming either. So we're looking at a change there. And we're just in the process now. So, and it's happening all over. It's a sad situation
It is
when
very sad.
we hear that. And Thunder Bay, the churches, I don't know how they sell those big churches up there.
Yeah.
They're huge, some of them, but.
How's
Anyway, a little bit of information, Jan, about the Bethany Sisters and
the Bethany
the work
Sisters.
that they did. You always had an active group.
We had a very active group. The Bethany Sisters we had the sisterhood was the older ladies, the older Finnish ladies, and then the younger ones wanted to have their own little group because a lot of the younger ones did not speak Finn. So we had to accommodate those. So they I don't know what year they started, but yeah, it was a lot of the younger ladies, and they had bazaars. They sent their monies to missions, a lot to for pastors that were going to school.
Okay.
Lots of them didn't have a lot of money, so we would sponsor a student every year.
Oh, nice.
And
Right.
then our bazaars were, lots of that was just to keep the church going as well.
Right.
We also paid for the new sign that went up during our 50th anniversary. That was in 2002. We had a huge celebration. Pastor Bjornstad had already left. He came back for that.
Okay.
And a huge celebration. And Sharon and Ken Wick were there. They dedicated the sign, and it was just wonderful.
Yeah.
And then since then, it's just gone downhill.
Yeah. Too bad.
The churches that we were affiliated with, Bethel Lutheran Church, closed their doors several years ago. And Pastor Blum, who comes to us, he was at Epiphany, and that closed about 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they actually bought an old United Church that had been sold, and they were in that church. Now he's in Kakabeka Falls.
Yeah.
So he comes to us from Kakabeka Falls now.
Wow. Yeah, lots and lots of changes, that's for sure. I just always remember your bazaars and going down that narrow stairway.
That, I don't know.
And at one time we had meals.
Yes, when Mary Jo, she got us into once a month, we were having meals for seniors.
Yeah,
Oh,
we had
okay.
meals for seniors.
Yes, that was every month. And every winter she would go to Texas for the winter. And she'd always come back with either a new banner or some new idea for lunches.
Okay.
So, and we had quite a turnout. We would
We
have
had-
the
we-
2 tablesfuls of people coming for lunch.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, very popular social
And our
times.
bazaars, well, everybody looked forward to them. We had a
Yeah.
lineup going outside.
I know.
Yes.
I can remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Yeah. And now the one thing that you're saying, you went to the Baptist church, but we're very fortunate that they do have a very large food bank. Something
Yes.
that now is needed, another big change.
That's why they wanted a bigger church.
Church.
Now they have the basement they can
Right.
use for a food bank, and still the sanctuary upstairs and doesn't have to be used for a food bank like in their church.
Right. And I just talked to Jeremy last week, and he told me now they're serving up to 40 families. So
Wow.
it's something that's really, really needed, and it's nice that it turned out the way it did. And I think their church is becoming a house now. So
Yes.
yeah,
You
nice.
were asking about membership at one time. Back, the charter members, this would probably in 1950, no, this would be when Pastor Klein was here. We had on our roster 150 people. But of course, you wouldn't see that number in
No.
church.
No,
No,
of course.
yeah.
Yeah, same with that. Most churches
Yeah.
are. But, wow. And then you mentioned you had vacation Bible school sometimes.
Yes, we
Ev-
had with
every
several.
summer.
Yeah, every summer for I think 2 weeks. I'm not sure if we had a younger group and then an older group, but I remember having them in the church basement. Pastor Bjornstad would have them at a campground, like say Stillwater, and the kids would come there.
Oh,
And he
okay.
had one in Red Rock, and for the Red Rock kids, and they had it in that field that's kind of just almost adjacent to the high school. There's 2 streets, and there's a big open field,
Right.
and he would have it there.
That's where they just had their skating rink last year or
Oh,
something
okay.
on that space.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And Sunday school picnics would be at anybody's camp. We went lots to Hercott Cove,
We've gone to Lockwist Lake,
Lofquist Lake,
Holly Lake.
and when Pastor Klein was here, we used to have church services at Helen Lipinski's camp at
Yeah.
Deer Lake.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you?
an outdoor service if it was nice.
Right.
Most times were nice. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Lots of activities
There-
because churches were such a meeting place, weren't they?
They
a
were.
social place then,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
and I just wanted to say, back in 2010, us and all the other churches opened up the thrift store.
Right.
So everyone takes their turn volunteering there, and we share in the proceeds.
And you might as well admit it's amazing how much money that thrift store
Makes.
takes in a year.
Yeah.
It is just mind-boggling to me that it's too bad we don't have a little bit larger
Larger
space,
building, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thrift store is someplace. I also think they should have a guest book there because you get people from all over the place.
All over the place,
who
all over
come
the
to that
world.
thrift store.
Yeah,
Yes.
you do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's interesting because I worked there and Janet works there, but it's interesting talking to people. You ask where you're from and, oh geez, you
Yeah.
know, they're from across the country.
Yeah.
And there's lots of people who go to small towns to go to the thrift stores.
Yes.
Because you never know what's there. And I'm one of those, when they go out west, we always go to the thrift shops.
Yes.
But, they're
To
interesting
look for
go to.
bargains and
Right.
Yeah.
So it's good that all the volunteers from all the churches have kept it going this long.
Yes.
Yeah, but
It,
that's
struggles.
going to be a,
When the
It's a
churches
struggle.
start closing, I don't know
Yeah.
what they're going to do. They'll have to
Right.
find other people to
Yeah.
run it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we talked at our church that if we're not going to disband, but we'll still likely offer maybe time at the thrift store because we could still use that money for outreach programs
Yes.
that we do in the community.
Oh, that's
Even
good to
though
know.
we don't have a building, we can still have a church.
Mm-hmm.
type
a,
of
lo-
thing.
a lot of the people that work there are getting older
Yes, I know, Diane.
and can't do it.
Yes.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. I was.
And the
That's
young
true.
people don't like to volunteer.
No.
It's too bad. Well, we'll have to see what happens in the next couple of years there. That's,
That's
for sure.
right. I was just going to mention, talking about Vacation Bible School, when Pastor Bjornstad was here, he had families come from the States, and they brought all the materials for our Vacation Bible Schools.
Well, I think I was going to ask you. I remember them bringing people in.
Yes.
For those, I do
Yeah,
remember
several
that.
families would come, and
Right.
they would stay in the campgrounds or where sometimes with the Bjornstads, and yeah, great times. So
Right.
that's when we probably had it for 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So lots of history about your church, and that's one of the why I was anxious to make sure we got an interview because it's all going to change.
Yes.
It has changed.
Yes, and so people will be able to look at this interview and get a feeling of that. So like we've done all the churches now except for the mission church at the reserve.
Oh, okay.
That's the only one that we haven't done yet. We need to do the United Church now that we're changing to. We need to add a
Yes.
little thing.
Updated.
Update
Yeah.
there for you.
Well, our history was done by Aini Loig. She did this, and then it was added to in 2002 when we had the celebration, and then I added the last little bit.
It's good. There's always somebody there who's willing to sit down and put it on paper.
Yeah,
Or
it's
else it disappears.
yes, and Aini Loig was good for that.
She done a great
she
job.
did a wonderful job. Yeah,
Right. Right.
so
Okay. Any other little thing you can think of?
I guess I should mention some of our presidents. Like the last one was Donnie Rojo. He was very instrumental in doing a lot of things at the church, and he must have been our president for the last 10, 15 years. Because in our church, it has to be a man right now.
Right.
So things are changing there, but Donnie was very good. He was instrumental in doing a lot of stuff at the thrift store. Lots of our other presidents were Erhard Schmidt.
Right.
I'm sure Arvo Rojo was. And they were Chris Wick and Ken Wick were
Right.
very, very active in the church. Richard and Audrey Cormier.
Right.
So and Helen Lipinski,
And Beryl was at one time.
Beryl
yeah.
and Archie.
Because I could remember one thing about your church was providing the flowers every Sunday when it was flower season. They took turns. You
Oh,
always had fresh flowers.
We
at your
always
church.
had fresh
I
flowers.
remember that
Yes.
myself.
Yeah. Aini
And
Goiche.
Erhard Schmidt.
Yes. He was he
I
was
thought he was
president.
president.
He was president for years, yes. And Brian Tamminen.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So we had lots of good people,
Right.
and yeah, lots of them are gone now.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's nice to say those names because people who are watching this hopefully will recognize some
Yeah,
of those
and
names.
Ayla Rojo, she was very instrumental in the
Yeah.
beginning of the church.
Right.
Ayla and Mrs. West, they were at our 50th anniversary, and they cut the cake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Okay. Yes, Mrs. West lasted a long time.
she did. She lived to be 99, and she
right.
was active and driving till she was in her 90s.
Wow.
Yeah,
And Audrey
Audrey was very active.
Audrey Cormier was very active.
Yeah,
Right.
and Dorothy Sallow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
of course. Right. Yeah. It's
Pat
good to remember
Huntus,
all
yes.
those names. Okay. Thank you very much, Diane and
Thank
Janet,
you.
for sharing all of that history with us. Something that we'll be able to remember now.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Kirsten.